Hey, what's up guys, it's Jonathan and welcome to my dual unboxing and mini review of the white and black sapphire Galaxy S6. I know I just posted a mini review and unboxing of the Galaxy S6 Edge, but since they are a bit different in terms of design and what each have to offer, I figured the S6 deserves its own video. As you can see here, I have two different sizes. I have the 32GB and the 64GB models retailing for $199 and $299 on contract. There's also a 128GB model out there if you need it for $399 on contract, and for full retail pricing, I would just check with your carrier as they're all a bit different. I picked these both up from T-Mobile since they were the first US carrier to release and begin shipping, so a big thanks to them for being extremely speedy and beating the pack. So with some editing magic or your basic transitions, we can slide the exterior packaging off and crack open the box to take a peek at what comes inside. Like pretty much all unboxings, the very first thing you're gonna find is the device itself resting right there on top. So let's go ahead and set it to the side and keep this thing moving. Underneath the phone, inside its own cardboard packaging, you're gonna find the quick start guide, the accessory guide if you feel like purchasing some extra stuff, the milk, music, and video information guide, health, safety, and warranty guide, your terms and conditions with some basic warranty information, and a device recycling program information packet. Moving on in no particular order, you're gonna find your Samsung premium headphones that have been redesigned. I've had a chance to use the ones that came with the Edge, and they are okay. They're not great, but they're not bad. They'll just do the job. Up next is the SIM card ejection tool. Nothing fancy, but something some companies fail to include, so it's a nice touch. Of course, you get your adaptive fast charging wall adapter, which will charge your phone from 0 to 100 in roughly about an hour, or give your phone 4 hours of use in about 10 minutes. And in order to use this and sync your phone, you'll need the included micro USB to standard USB cable. So let's go ahead and slide the plastic off the black sapphire model and remove it off the white model and begin the physical description tour. Starting with the right side, you'll find your dedicated power button, and below that the nano SIM card slot, which is a step away from the standard micro SIM that Samsung has always had. The left hand side is home to the freshly designed volume buttons, and as you can see, there's no longer a volume rocker. They are two separate buttons made of aluminum to match the sides and chamfered edges for that new premium design Samsung is going for. Moving on down to the bottom, you'll find your 3.5mm headphone jack, micro USB port, microphone, and your repositioned speaker. Unlike past models which feature a rear firing speaker, Samsung has placed a newly designed speaker on the bottom, which is a major step in the right direction. You can also see some antenna lines here as well. So since we started at the bottom, let's take it to the top where you'll find another microphone, an IR blaster, and some more antenna lines. On the back, you're going to find your updated 16 megapixel camera with an aperture of f1.9, optical image stabilization, a dedicated flash, O2 sat, and a heart rate monitor. Moving away from the cheap feeling plastic we are accustomed to with Samsung, they have stepped it up and designed the Galaxy S6 with Gorilla Glass 4 on the back and on the front, similar to the iPhone 4 and 4S. And no, I'm not complaining a bit either because it feels and looks excellent. The white model shines like a pearl, giving off a light blue iridescent shine depending how the light hits it. The black sapphire also has a blue shine, more than the white, but it looks just as beautiful. Taking it to the top front, you'll find your LED notification light, your ambient and proximity light sensors, a speaker grill, and a 5 megapixel f1.9 front-facing camera. Going down low, you have your physical app switcher, your physical back button, as well as your home button with an updated fingerprint sensor built into it. In terms of overall size, the S6 Edge is slightly wider than the S6, but not by much, and that's to make room for the curved display. They're also about the same thickness. The only real difference here, besides the curved display, is the SIM card slot is at the top of the Edge and on the right hand side with the standard S6. They all feature protruding cameras, which is typical, so I'm not going to hate or complain there, but I've noticed the camera on the S6 Edge does not protrude as much as the standard editions. Maybe it's just me and my eyesight is going bad, but I've looked and compared several times. In terms of software, you're looking at the newly toned down version of TouchWiz on top of Android 5.02 Lollipop, which is not the newest version, but it's pretty darn close. And thanks to Samsung's own 64-bit Exynos octa-core chipset clocked at 1.5 GHz and 2.1 GHz and 3 GB of RAM, it actually flies through TouchWiz without any stutter. And this includes just going through your home pages, going through the settings app, or even just using briefing, which is is a modified version of Flipboard. I mean, I am really surprised by the performance of the Galaxy S6 and the S6 Edge out of the box, and so far in my time with each, neither has slowed down. Samsung has definitely done something right here by going in-house with their processors entirely and cutting back on the bloatware and useless features of TouchWiz. With that being said, you'll still find plenty of features in TouchWiz which I'd be more than happy to cover in a separate video if you guys would like. Just let me know by leaving a comment below. Like I said in the beginning, the fingerprint scanner in the home button has been drastically improved, and gone are the days that you have to swipe to unlock your phone. Now it's extremely similar, if not the same as Touch ID, even down to the setup process. Once the setup is complete, all you need to do is just push down on the home button, let your finger sit there for maybe a second or two, and your phone should unlock. Accuracy is around 90 to 95% for me, which is great for the first run at this type of sensor. The camera software still features different modes like Pro Mode, which gives you manual controls. You have selective focus, panorama, slow motion, and fast motion capture, virtual shot, and the ability to download more modes. Backing out of modes and busting up into the settings, here you're going to find the ability to change the picture size from 16 megapixels down to 2.4 megapixels if you needed to do so. And if we go back to the main setting page, you're going to find the same option for video size, and if you click on that, you can change the video size from UHD all the way down to VGA, and you have the choice of shooting in 1080p at 60 frames per second as well. Another new addition is tracking, which you can tap on a specific spot when focusing, and no matter where your subject moves, it will stay in focus. I believe this is the first time this technology has ever been put on a smartphone. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments with which device carries this feature. One thing you need to know when using tracking is you no longer get video stabilization. Not too much of a big deal, since generally if you're tracking a subject, you're standing still and your subject is moving, but it may be an issue for some. Just thought I'd let you guys know that though. The other new addition to the camera software is the quick launch feature. When you double press the home button in the past, S-Voice would activate, and that honestly was pointless. Well, now Samsung has changed that, and now a double press of the home button will fire up your camera no matter where you're at or if your screen is locked, and it opens really fast. Leaving the settings and looking at the top, you have your basic functions for flash control, timer, HDR, and effects. Effects are like your standard Instagram effects, so nothing special here, and if you tap the arrow on the right, you can hide all these settings, giving you a better view of your subject. The front-facing camera has its own set of settings as well, including the ability to take a picture from 5 megapixels down to 0.3 megapixels with different ratios. For video, you can capture Quad HD resolution, which is really cool, and go all the way down to VGA. Of course, you have your other settings such as grid lines, gesture controls, voice controls, and even video stabilization, just to name a few. Keep an eye out for my camera sample video, which should be coming up very soon. Samsung has now added themes to TouchWiz, giving the user even more control of customizing the look of their phone. To do so, go into settings, launch themes, tap more, and find a theme you want. Go ahead and download it. Once it's done downloading, click apply, and your icons, text, even sounds will be changed. At this point in time, there's not a wide selection of themes, especially for the adult age range, so it's really not even worth a look until they add more options. This is where HTC is actually killing it when it comes to customization and themes versus Samsung. Personally, I would just stick with Nova Launcher if you want to add some personalization to the software. One awesome thing about the Galaxy S6 is that it comes with Qi wireless charging built into the phone itself. This means you don't need to go and buy an aftermarket accessory to use this feature, except for a wireless charging dock or pad. But all this comes with a negative. The 2550 mAh battery is very weak, and it's just terrible for me. Cell standby seems to destroy the battery life. However, I will be posting a video demonstrating things you can do to help this and make sure you get the best battery life, so make sure you subscribe for that. In the meantime, thank goodness for fast charging. It is a lifesaver. The in-the-hand feel of the S6 is wonderful. It's the perfect size for one-handed use for most tasks, and thanks to the rounded edges, it just fits in your hand great, and it's extremely comfortable. In case you guys are wondering which color do I prefer and why, well, I'm gonna let you know, and that would be the white model. I've really never been a big fan of white phones in the past. However, the S6 just looks extremely clean and white, and with that glass backing, you're gonna want to keep it looking clean, especially if you don't use a case. Well, the white model is gonna hide fingerprints and scratches much better than the black model, keeping your S6 looking newer over a period of time. Again, this is just an opinion. You guys get the one that you want. Samsung Pay is another really cool feature which I covered more in the S6 Edge unboxing and overview, and I'm going to save it more for the full review since this video is already really long, and I'll cover what it is and how well it works. I hope you guys like this overview and unboxing of the S6. If you did, let me know by hitting that like button, leave me a comment below, let me know what you want out of the full review, and of course I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.